if our next hero had appeared on the old I've Got a Secret television show, she would have stumped the panel. From her beauty, they might have guessed that she modeled, acted, and appeared in Playboy magazine. And from her vivacious personality, they might have guessed that she had courage and spirit. But they never would have guessed she's paralyzed from the waist down.
Even now, I can be going on feeling like everybody else. I'll come to a curb that I can't get up, and suddenly it hits me like a brick wall that the world was not made for me, that this is not accessible, that it's not accommodating to me, and it's so frustrating.
Ellen Stohl dreamed of becoming an actress, a model, a dancer.
And I just signed a contract to do an aerobics tape with a production company in LA and had entered the Miss Anaheim pageant.
But Ellen's dreams were violently interrupted one rainy January night in Southern California.
I was driving on a freeway interchange, and it's a really dangerous curve. And for some reason, the car went off the road and flipped on its side, and it skid for about 50 feet, and then it rolled 3 or 4 times, and when it rolled, the windows all popped out. And then it was airborne into a gully for about 76 feet. And when it was airborne, I came out through the windshield, or where the windshield used to be, and I landed on my head.
That was 1983. Today, Ellen Stohl is back in school, attending a California university. But the road to her recovery wasn't an easy one.
It took me probably even a year after the hospital to really think that this is the way things are going to be. It's devastating. Your whole body image changes. You can't sit up. You don't look the same anymore. I hated my legs. I mean, I would not even look at them, deal with them or anything. They were not a part of me anymore. And by not accepting that part of me, I was cutting part of me out.
I'm talking about. Fine,
how are you?
Pretty good.
You brought the tapes and everything?
Yeah.
You sort of come to the realization that you're only getting around different. You're not a different person. It's just a different package that you're in. And once you realize that the insides are all the same, you sort of go, well, why not just go out and do it?
But Ellen soon realized that being disabled meant more than just accepting that she may never walk again.
But the thing that I came across, and that even though I knew I was a woman and I had the same potentials, the stereotypes of the world refused to perceive me as one. I had to change their perception, and it had to be through a vehicle that focused on me, not on what I did. I mean, Cosmo, Women's Day, all would have done a story on what I did. Isn't this wonderful triumph over tragedy? That's not what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is, look at me, look at who I am. I'm a woman.
The vehicle Ellen chose was Playboy magazine.
They focus on the ideal image of a woman. And if I can achieve the ideal image of a woman, I can be everything in between that. So I wrote him a letter, and I said, look, I am just as much woman as every other woman in this magazine. I've got what it takes to be in your magazine. The only difference is I use a wheelchair instead of walking around now. And they said, come in for testing. And I said, okay. So I came in, went through the same modeling tests and interviews that all the other models go through. And if they didn't make me go through that, I wouldn't have done it. I mean, they needed to treat me on my ability and on what I had and not on an angle.
Ellen was stunning, but as Playboy's first handicap pictorial, the layout wasn't without controversy.
It's kind of odd when we're walking around school. People won't say anything right out. They'll just sit there and just, that's the girl who's in Playboy. And we can see and we hear.
A girlfriend of mine who's in a chair said, I'm so happy you've done this. When I go out, men will look at me differently now. They won't just assume that I'm a non-sexual being. If I go to a club and I'm sitting in a wheelchair, 1 or 2 people will hesitantly approach me, and usually the first thing is, oh, is this temporary? And no, it's permanent. Oh, I'm sorry, and they feel really bad. If I'm on a bar stool, guys will be up going, you want to dance? You want to dance? Buying me drinks, trying to pull me. I'm like, no, I don't dance. They're trying to pull me off the bar stool. I'm holding on the bar going, no, really, I don't dance.
Even though the publicity from the layout has generated a new awareness of the disabled, Ellen has no intention of stopping there. She's taking her show on the road.
From the moment we're born, we're asked, is it a boy or a girl? And from that second on, you sort of are treated away and begin to develop a gender identity and sense of self. Well, from the moment you become disabled, you're no longer considered a boy or a girl. You're bunched into one category called a disabled person. So I started lecturing at a psychology classes here, and we had a really good response. And it made me feel really good because I could go out and I would know that 100 people would now know how to treat the next disabled person as a person and not a chair, and would understand more about them. Society tends to still be patronizing, talk to you louder, ask the people you're with what you would like. Everything I do is wonderful. Oh, isn't that wonderful? She goes to school. Isn't that wonderful? What's so wonderful about me going to school? I'm 23 years old. I should be doing something with my life. If it's so wonderful to go out there and live life, then there's a hell of a lot of wonderful people out there. And look at it that way. I'm not really any different than anybody else.
Ellen Stohl is back. Her Playboy experience has opened new doors. And when she's not shedding light on the problems of the disabled, she's moving forward with her acting and modeling career.
My dream for my future would be to live my life the way that I want to, not the way society tells me I should, or the way a book tells me I should, or the way my friends tell me I should, but the way that I really feel is right for me. And whether that be in public relations or acting or just being a mother, being comfortable with that and feeling that that's enough, being contented. And I hope that in my future I find that I'm happy with what I'm doing. And when I'm unhappy with it, that I have enough guts to risk not doing it anymore, to go on to something else.